Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to quantify, but we started that way. It was literally, well, one of us would be canvassing, the other one would be in the house selling.
Mhm.
And it was just the two of us. So, we always trust each other to do the other part of it. So while Ray was selling, I was trying to get the next lead and vice versa. And we just kind of never stopped with that.
This is the Wealthy Contractor Podcast, brought to you by G4 Marketing. Interviews with today's top home improvement entrepreneurs about marketing, sales, money, mindset, and lifestyle. Now, here's your host, Brian Kaskavalcian.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. This is Brian Kaskavalcian with G4 Marketing Group. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've got two business partners here that are together with me. And this should be interesting. We've got Ray DiCrecchio and Doug Chadwick from Luxury Bath out of New Jersey. And I have known these guys for quite a few years, and they have built a hell of a business. And I thought it would be great to talk to them, learn about some of the things that they're doing in the business, but also I want to know how they have such a successful business partnership. So, guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Ray. The second one was Ray. The first one's Doug. This should be interesting. So those of you that are watching this on YouTube, it'll be a lot easier to tell which one's talking. Ray is on the left, Doug is on the right. But for those of you listening, we'll do our best. So guys, before we get into backstory, let's talk a little bit about 2022. Give us an idea of the company. How many jobs did you guys? Oh, first off, what do you guys do?
Sure.
Let's start there. What do you guys do?
Sure. We're in the bathroom remodeling space. The one-day bathroom remodel, particularly the tub shower conversions. We do a little bit more than that, though. We also do some floor vanity toilet, but that's exclusive. What we do is just bathroom remodeling.
Nice. Okay. And in 2022, how many jobs did you guys complete approximately?
Yeah, it was in the 900s. So
900s. Okay.
Yeah.
How many salespeople?
Currently we have 11.
11 salespeople. Awesome.
For 2022, though, for the most part, we were right around 7 to 8. In 2022. Yeah. Currently now we have about 11 sales guys.
Nice. And how's 2023? We're doing this middle of March. We're almost done with the first quarter. How is 2023 looking compared to 2022?
Luckily, we're still continuing the growth this year. Hopefully we'll have our best month ever this month. It's looking pretty good. So this year
nice.
we're still moving up. We're still growing.
Cool. What's your target revenue, if you don't mind sharing, for this year?
Yeah, sure. So last year was just a hair under 12 million.
Nice.
This year we're going for 15. That's our goal.
Great. Nice. So 20-ish, 25% growth.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Beautiful.
All right. So that's where you guys are today. But let's go all the way back. Let's go back to the beginning. Give everybody kind of like Give everybody the 2-minute version of where, or the 3-minute, because there's two of you. 3-minute version of where you guys started, how long ago.
Yeah, sure. So mine goes all the way back to, I think, 2004 is when I was recruited from a college campus for canvassing. That was the first role I've ever had in the home improvement industry, which, knocking on doors, et cetera. That was the first company I ever went to, and it went really well. I thought it was amazing. Knock on doors, and people give you, back then it was I think $125 for an appointment. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. So that lasted for a little bit, moved up quickly, became a crew chief for the company, and that's where I met Ray.
And what's funny enough, I was also on a college campus. I got recruited a guy walked up to me and said, "Hey man, you looking for some extra beer money?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds good. I need a job." And yeah, he was giving me a little bit of what it is, walking around the neighborhood, letting people know we're doing work in the neighborhood. And I got it right away. I was like, "Oh, okay. So we're like offering estimates." He's like, "Yeah, well, just come in. I'll tell you more about it." I was like, "Yeah, well, sounds like, just door-to-door sales, right?" He's like, "Oh," he was trying to sugarcoat it a little bit, but I got it right away. I like the idea of it. And my first day out, funny enough, Doug was the crew chief for the canvas division there. And he took me out. I knocked on my first door, got a lead, and I was instantly hooked. And that's where we became really good friends and worked for a few years. And eventually got up to sales reps at the company.
So we both sold for a bit.
Okay. And then when did you guys decide you're going to go off on your own?
So
together?
2000, and I graduated from 2005 from college. We both worked in and out of the home improvement business. I got a few quote unquote, after college real jobs or whatever. But we always did this at night or part-time. In 2008 is when we got the idea. We're like, wait a second, we're good at this business. We know how to sell. We know how to canvas. We could just do this ourselves. We don't need to work for somebody else. So 2009 is when we actually started. We were talking about this morning. It was May 5th. We remember the date. It was the first day we canvassed. It was May 5th of 2009.
Nice. So you guys went out knocking doors. It was your company. Now you weren't selling baths back then, right?
Right. We worked for a window company, going door to door with the windows. So we knew the windows. We knew how to get the leads. We had some ideas where to get crews. So that's where in 2008, we were talking about every day, driving out to neighborhoods, either canvassing or running leads. And that's when the economy was going down and everything got real tough. Our commissions started to get slashed. Bonuses that were promised weren't paid out. That's where I really had the idea. I said to Doug, if we're going to stay in this business, why not just, let's go for it. Let's do it ourselves. We were young. I was only 25 at the time. And I'm a risk taker by nature. That's how I am. So I was like, let's roll the dice, let's see if we can make it on our own.
Yeah. And so when was that? What year was it that you guys started officially?
2009 in March is when we started.
Nice. Okay.
But we had the idea kind of like October, the fourth quarter of 2008.
It took us a while to get our ducks in a row.
We had to come up with a plan and process and all the insurance, licensing, all that type of stuff.
So guys, that was 14 years ago.
Yeah. We thought back to that because we literally in our apartment printed out, we each had apartments back then, and we printed out on this red piece of paper. Back then we thought it was more noticeable, red piece of paper. We printed on we printed half the paper of canvas papers, of canvas flyers, 2 per paper.
To save money.
A
regular 11.5 by 8 thing. We decided to make it 2 flyers, cut it in half. Because we had no money at all back then, so we were on a shoestring budget. Just going door to door.
Going door to door, selling windows. Okay. And so when did you guys actually, when did things start to kind of happen a little bit? When did you guys get an office, let's say?
Yeah, so we had a very small office that we barely used the first year or two, and we upgraded to our first major office, I think in 2011. Well, major to us, I think it was 700 square feet.
Yeah.
On a second floor of an industrial building. It was not a pretty apartment, it was all or a pretty office. It was all one room, but that was our first official office in 2011. But back then, we were very small. We were under $1 million. Yeah. And we kind of got stuck there for the first few years. We were figuring things out. So we weren't doing a ton, but that was our first real office in 2011.
And when did you bring on your first salesperson?
That was in 2013, I believe. And we kind of hopped around a lot, trying to figure it out. We sold windows. Then we ended up selling this thing called green energy barrier. That's where we met a mentor of ours, Todd Phelps, who, funny enough, now currently present day is our area sales rep for the luxury bath, the dealer network that we're in. But we met him there. Then we got into some roofing because there was a big storm with the Hurricane Sandy that came through. So we were doing some storm damage. So the 13, 14, 15 range, like those 3 years, we would average about 1 to 2 sales guys. It took us a while to really build it. It wasn't really until we got part of the Luxury Bath Dealer Network that we figured out what we reference as the 4 pillars, where it's the sales manager, production manager, events manager, and call center or confirmation manager. So that's where we really started to develop processes.
Yeah, that all sounds very familiar. The Mark Zockel's system.
Right.
Yeah, it was plug and play. I mean, it really was a great. I remember I was working with Mark back then around that same time period, and that really was a step-by-step, day-by-day plan for how to go out and create a home improvement company. And
Brian, that was in 2016. I don't know if you remember or not. We reached out to you that year before we joined the Luxury Bath Dealer Network.
You reached out to me and you got really good advice from what I remember. These guys still give me crap about the advice I gave them back in 2016. They'll never let me forget that.
It worked out great for us, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was bad advice at all.
Yeah. Well, it was, if I remember correctly, it was about getting focused.
Yeah.
It was about getting focused because you guys were kind of like all over the place.
Yeah, and that's exactly what, like I said, we were chasing that shiny object. We couldn't figure out which way to go. And we were just trying to find a direction.
Yeah. And so you started with Luxury Bath in 2016, and then things started to grow from there, right?
Right. It was the halfway point right around July is where we got our territory. We ran both companies, the window roofing company, the luxury bath company in 2016, just to make sure we could make it work.
Yeah.
We didn't want to throw something away. Yeah. And once we realized, the bath business is fantastic, we could get tons of leads. That's where we found a lot about the shows and events that we were doing compared to trying to get leads doing roofing or windows at those events. We realized that we could get a lot of leads.
Okay, good. Leads are very important. So cool. So that's the backstory. So what's interesting to me about you guys is so I've known you guys for now, what is that, 7-8 years. And I've always been so impressed with your relationship and your partnership. It always seems like, at least when I, a couple times a year when I see you and talk to you, you guys are always like on the same page. You're always together. And it's like, it seems like it's just a really good, at its core, a good relationship. What is that? What's that all about that you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to quantify, but we started that way. It was literally, one of us would be canvassing, the other one would be in the house selling, and it was just the two of us. So, we always trust each other to do the other part of it. So while Ray was selling, I was trying to get the next lead and vice versa. And we just kind of never stopped with that. We just, for a while there, we kind of did everything in the business. I think at one point we said, hey, we're going to each specialize a bit and take parts of the business and be more of an ownership over that. I think that helped us scale a little bit as far as partners go. Would you agree with that when we kind of diced it a bit?
We were friends first before we started the business. We would work together, but we also would hang out. We enjoyed doing playing golf, things like that. So it was really a friendship that developed into a partnership.
Nice.
And we know how to talk to each other as far as when to maybe walk away from a conversation and let somebody cool down and then circle back later on to rediscuss, what maybe got somebody a little angry. Yeah. Sometimes I'm more the hothead of the partnership.
It's cool because I think that what I see with you guys is and I think that this makes for successful partnerships. I have a partner, but I also happen to live with my partner. My partner also, we have kids together, and she's my wife. So it's a weird dynamic. Partnerships in general are just weird dynamics. But I see with you guys, I see respect for each other. I see trust, like what you guys just said. You trusted that while I'm going and making leads, you are going to be in the house selling, and vice versa. And I see confidence in each other, in your own abilities, but also in each other, which is, it's tough to keep those things going over a long period of time. What do you think has been able to keep that going with you guys? I mean, those three things are very difficult to manage sometimes.
That's a good question. We've been kind of lucky that we had the exact same amount of knowledge at all points in this business, and we kind of been growing and learning together. I think if one of us came in as the expert and the other one as learning the business, it might not have that same dynamic. But since we had relatively the same amount of experience, we had years of knowing each other beforehand, this and that, and we learned the business together. So we knew all the same backgrounds. So there's no disagreement. We saw all the same stuff. We had all the same experience, et cetera. So we looked at the business in a very similar manner, because essentially our understanding of the business was very, very close to each other. Very small disagreements maybe here and there, but nothing of substance. So the fact that we kind of saw everything philosophically similarly, it allowed us to do things the same and not have to discuss every single thing, because we had kind of an idea of where we were going from what we saw.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great flipping answer. I mean, that's a really good answer, that, you've grown together basically in the business. So what would you say, I mean, over the last few years, I mean, you guys have grown. So just to give people context, so you guys are going to do 15 this year. When did you first hit, let's say, like, around 3 million is where you really, there's that one break point of about a million, 2 million, 3, that's one break point. And then the next one's at about 3 million. About what time frame would you guys say you were at that 3 million-ish mark? How long ago?
2018 was when we broke 3 million, was 2018.
Yeah. And so do you remember kind of what changed for you guys in order to kind of break through that ceiling? Because at 3 million, you have to have salespeople in place, because you just, the two of you couldn't have done leads and sales and run the business. So you had to bring on some salespeople. You had to have better financial management. So what do you think are some of the things that changed for you to be able to get to that point?
You think you want to grab that one?
In 2018, we had 2 salespeople. So we started to have other people run leads and do the selling for us. Isn't that the year I think you had your knee injury?
That was the year. Yeah.
So Doug ran a lot of the leads then, and I focused more on the marketing and admin production, but he ended up blowing out his knee. So he was out of the business for a little bit with knee surgery and on crutches. He could no longer run leads. And that's where we really had to say, all right, we need to find more people, so we don't lose an extra sales guy. So that's where we really started to take off with the sales.
So it's very interesting what you just said. So basically you were forced into it.
Yeah, we were forced 100%.
And it was that, and sorry, Doug, but it was the best thing that happened to you for the business, not to you personally, but that's the best thing that could have happened to the business, because we tell people all the time, you guys know this, we've heard this, and you guys have probably given people advice too, like this. You got to stop selling. If you're the owner and you're out there selling, you're limited to how much you can grow the business. And so unfortunately, you had to blow out your knee in order for this to happen. But look, I mean, to the people that are listening, I mean, if you're out there as an owner and you're still running leads, force yourself. Don't wait till your knee blows out. Don't wait till something catastrophic happens. Take yourself out of the business in terms of running leads and start to focus on the business. So Doug, when you came back and you couldn't run leads anymore, what were you doing? What were you doing for the business?
Yeah, I remember because I was on crutches for a while. It's not, I literally couldn't, you can't run an appointment. You can't carry a bag upstairs and that. So when I came back, I think we just focused on, all right, we need to train more people. We need more salespeople. We just dug in and we tried to make it more, more automatic at that point. I think we really got into the selling on the iPad, getting that better, selling the house, getting better. We just kind of refined everything a lot. I worked on training some new guys. And I can't remember how many salespeople we had in 2018, but
we finished the year. That's where we got one more solid sales guy. So we had 3 full-time guys at that point. So that's not including Doug.
Yeah.
And then 2019, that's when we really started to add more from there.
Because you had the base.
Right.
You knew now, okay, you had some confidence that, okay, we brought these guys in, we trained them, we gave them leads, and hey, wait a minute, they actually went out there and sold stuff.
Yeah,
it worked. So now that gave you confidence to go out and put some money into more marketing and more training and bringing more people in, right?
And I don't think you actually ever really went back into the house ever again.
I think I did one appointment since 2018.
Yeah. That was the last time he ran a lead.
Yeah. Well, look,
prior to his name.
Wow, that's why you guys have been able to grow.
Let's pause here for a quick break. Do you want to grow your sales, make more money, and increase your marketing ROI this year? If you answered yes, then you'll want to listen closely to this special invitation. We're calling all home improvement business owners and marketers to join us at LeadCon 2023, happening June 6th and 7th in Atlanta, Georgia. LeadCon is the home improvement industry's only lead generation event guaranteed to show you how to outsmart, outmaneuver, and outperform your competition. Now, to get there in today's market requires sharper skills, more precise targeting, and more effective marketing and lead generation strategies. When you join us for LeadCon, you're going to discover the tools, systems, and tactics that are working right now for companies big and small to drive leads, sales, and profits. To get more information, go to www.leadconevent.com. That's LEADCON event.com. If you act soon, you can save big with discounted pricing. And for additional savings, you can enter coupon code WEALTHY23 at checkout. Remember, this event is 100% guaranteed. If you don't feel it was profitable enough for you on day one, not only will we refund you your ticket money, but we will also give you $1,000 back to cover your time and your travel. So don't delay. Go to www.leadconevent.com and secure your ticket today. Now back to this week's episode.
So what'd you do in 2019? So if you did 2018, you did 3 million. How much did you do in 2019?
2019, we did just a hair under 5 million.
5 million. That would have been my guess, because now you could pour some accelerant on it. So it took you literally took you 7 or 8, not 7 or 8. Hold on. Took you 5 years to get past 1 million.
Yeah.
It took you another 2, 3, 4 to get to 3 million. And then it took you 1 year to jump from 3 million to 5.
Yeah.
And then from there, now you've gone, 2020, 21, 22, you've gone, and now to 23, you've gone to 15 million. Now look, economy's been amazing. Leads were plentiful. People were buying, they were stuck in their homes. But here's the thing about you guys that's been very impressive is you had a good foundation in place. So unlike a lot of people that I think, and I don't want this to sound bad or sound negative, it's almost like a warning for some of the people that might be listening, is if leads were easy for you, but you didn't establish a system for lead efficiency and sales and profitability, when things start to slow down a little bit, you're going to be in trouble. When things escalate, you could also be in trouble because you could sell too much. You can get into financial problems. You could have more leads than you know what to do. There's all kinds of issues that can come from that. But you guys had a foundation in place, and I think that's why your growth has been so healthy. And you guys have been super profitable too, which, I'm super happy about. You guys have been very profitable along the way. As you've been growing now over the last few years, what have the new challenges have been for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess a lot of it comes with the scaling and things that we never thought we would need. Obviously, as we're growing, there's positions we didn't know we needed until they're here. We had to get better with everything, accounting systems, and even just our CRM. Was the CRM we were using in the past wasn't capable of keeping up with what we had to do now. We had to learn a whole system there. So it's been, I think, a lot of scalability, growth issues. But what would you say?
Just trying to turn so many jobs. You don't want them to linger too long, then people start to get angry. And obviously some of that is material, trying to get it, but just being more efficient, even with the leads. And when you try to do more business, obviously more things have to be done. So with that, you have to be more efficient if you want to continue the trajectory to go into the next level. Because when you try to take on so much more, something could get sacrificed. So you need to just try to plan and execute to handle that type of volume. And I mean, I'm not saying we're doing any type of massive volume. I know there's people 10 times the size of us out there, but that's just something that we have to learn.
It's a lot of volume.
Yeah, it's just, that's something that we had to learn how to handle in the last few years.
How about, so you guys have had to start to also surround yourself and let go of jobs that you were doing even 2 and 3 years ago that you guys aren't doing anymore. You had to bring in other people to do those for you. So what have you learned kind of along the way with recruiting and hiring people?
It's a good question. I feel like it's still always going to be an issue. As we grow, we're still going to continually need more and more people.
Absolutely.
It was particularly tricky over the last few years with the pandemic and obviously whatnot, and having to adjust how people wanted to see us and not be able to get people in the door. Was really an issue for a while there. I feel like it's changing now, but recruiting in the future, I foresee it being a lot more. People doing maybe Zooms and things like that. I see being maybe the next step, maybe a first interview, screening, things like that. It's just gonna be more technology. It's just my guess for the future. What would you?
But
say?
what is it? But what was it that? What do you think it is that? So, how many people do you have in management? Let me ask you it this way.
Yes, we have a sales manager. We have a production manager, a call center manager.
Mm-hmm.
We have a finance manager, we'll call it. So yeah, that's it. Then Ray and I essentially. Okay. So that's our management team.
Yeah. So what makes people want to come and work with you guys, given all the other options they have?
I think everyone that we've held on to that's been with us a long time, they see the growth opportunity. They see the story. Doug and I, we're two canvassers and what we've built. And a lot of people have come along with us. Now our marketing manager, call center manager, she's been with us for over 6 years. The sales manager, he's been with us a long time as well, just as long. Some of our top sales guys as well, right around that 2016 year when we started to put some people in place, they've been with us, ever since.
Yeah,
that's true. We've been lucky with longevity, especially in this industry. You're not used to a lot of longevity. We've had people years and years.
Yeah, they're all growth oriented. Yeah, we
like
to win. We're competitive people here. Like, I'm a big sports guy. I always want to win. So Yeah, that's why I love the business. Every month it's a new challenge. We start back at zero and we know the goal. We know the goal for the year, the goal for the month. So that's the type of people we try to surround ourselves with. The people that, want to hit the goal.
Yeah, Ray also, and I came up with, it was Ray's idea to really start doing more company events and making it more work hard, play hard. So, once a quarter, we've been doing these company events and, Ray came up with the idea to do these regularly. So this way people get together and it's more than just hanging out in the office or people hanging out on the side. So once a quarter, we've been doing events as a whole company. And it's kind of a good mix.
Yeah, we do 4 company events a year. So every quarter we do something fun. And then we have the big holiday party at the end of the year. So in April, we're going to be going out to a local restaurant and doing a little trivia night, which is fun. So food, drinks, and games. Some of the other things we did a bowling night. We went to a baseball game. There's always something fun that we're trying to find something to do.
Yeah. And I love what you guys said before. And I would say to everybody that's listening, I've been doing this a lot lately, go back about a minute or two and re-listen to what they said about the people that they've got with them. Because what I heard you say is we're surrounding ourselves with people that like to win. And you have a scorecard. So the scorecard, which is your plan, which is your vision for the business, is broken down by quarter and by month. And so everybody knows what they have to do every quarter, every month, every week, and every day in order to win. And those are the types of people you want to have around you. You don't want to have people that want to hide and they don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be responsible for results. Those people aren't going to help you get anywhere. And conversely, if you're not the type of company that is going to give people this environment to win, you're not going to find the best people, because the best people are going to go work for them. Because, it's like, hey, I know what winning means over here, and I like to win, so I want to go there. And I think that's such a great answer, what you guys said, and all the other stuff is great too. I mean, now I think in our post-COVID world, I think a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, bringing the team together, I know we've done a lot of that stuff here too in the last couple of years, and it's really helpful to bring the team together to have fun. It's not only about the business. And the last thing I'll say about this too is what you said about being growth oriented. If you're not growing, you're just, people don't want to be in an environment where they are concerned or worried about their future. They want to be in a place where it's like, wow, these guys are hungry. They want to grow. They may not do everything perfect, but boy, they'll figure it out quick. So I think that's really cool, what you guys have done. So as I'm kind of looking at the clock here, I wonder, is there anything that you guys could think of that you wish you would have done sooner, that you would have learned sooner and implemented in the business quicker?
Seems like there's a ton, obviously.
There's a lot.
What's one or two things? How about one each?
You want to go first, Doug?
If you have something in mind,
my big thing early on, since it was Doug and I, charge the right price. Since it was us out there just trying to build a company, we way undersold so many jobs. Our little nickname that we always called each other was Ted or Teddy, which is take every deal. So
that's good.
We were just so eager to just make a sale and get business in, but we gave so many things away and we left so much money on the table. So listening to you, Brian, over the years, I know how important it is to charge that right price. So that if I could go back and tell my 20-something year old self, is you charge the right price. You take less business, but charge the right price.
Yeah, that's great.
I think for me, if I go back, I would have just told younger Doug, you're selling one thing and one thing only. You know, we're going to pick windows. We're just a window company. We're going to do siding. We're going to do roof, whatever it was, bathrooms, energy. Because then you have to have separate pitches for everything. You have separate vendor relationships for everything. You have to have separate stock material for everything, price list for everything. If I would have just picked one thing, I think we could have accelerated much quicker. And what's funny is we went to that, Charlie Gindale, his growth seminar. That's exactly what he said. He's like, all the things that here you don't do, you do X, Y, Z, do less and you'll do more. I wish I would learn that earlier.
Yeah. Simplify.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, by the way. Focus is so important. And and you guys have done that incredibly well over the last few years. What are you most excited about over the next 2 or 3 years?
Well, we are working on plans of a larger, newer office, a much bigger showroom presence. We never really had a showroom presence before, nothing to advertise right home. So, when growing up in this, we were canvas companies that we came from. We were always taught that showrooms were evil. You don't want showrooms because your customer goes to the showroom. They don't sign up through you. So it's kind of a shift or at least it seems to be a shift in the marketplace. But we're curious how that's going to work. I'm excited to sell after or have our salespeople in a position where people have seen big, beautiful displays, kind of like home shows. That's why they were so advantageous for us. So that's one of the things I'm excited about.
For me, it's just the momentum that we have. As long as we could just keep pushing, keep doing it, we have so many things in place. So now we could just have that snowball effect to really just start to, really build something big. That's my ultimate goal. The way that we've done it the last few years, that I'm excited to just keep things moving, keep building bigger, faster, stronger, more efficient, more profitable.
Good. Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. You got, every time I see you guys, it's like, it's a breath of fresh air. If anybody that's listening, if you're at an event, you can't miss these two guys. If you see them, go and talk to them. They're the nicest people, I think, in this industry. Did I just say that out loud? Not to insult anybody else, but let's just say that they're way up there in terms of some of the nicest people that you'll meet in this industry. And I am excited to see where your business goes over the next few years. It's been so awesome watching you guys, and I'm really excited to see where your business goes over the next few years. I think you guys are just going to kill it. And I think that one of the things too is I think that you guys could be a really good example and inspiration to others as well. And so I'm kind of interested to see, as you guys get older, how that starts to kind of play out. I know you're doing it for the people that work for you, but I think that there might be even more to that, but we'll see. But thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Oh,
right.
Thank you so much, Brian, for all your advice over the years. You've helped me out tremendously, and Doug and I. I speak for both of us.
You guys have done it. Yeah, you guys are awesome. All right, well, cool, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Hang out for a second. To everybody listening, until next time, this is Brian Kaskavalcian with G4 Marketing Group, and this is the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. Let me ask you, did it help you look at your business in a different way? Did it spark an idea or ideas that you hadn't thought of before? Do you have a list of action items that you can take and implement into your business or your life today? I really hope so. If it did, I'd like to ask you a favor. Would you leave a 5-star review of the podcast? By doing so, you'll help other contractors find the podcast more easily so that we can help them achieve more success, wealth, and freedom. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to the Wealthy Contractor Podcast so you get access to the latest episodes as soon as they're available. We're always striving to provide you with great content, so you don't want to miss what's coming up. In fact, if you haven't already, make sure you go to thewealthycontractor.com and get your free copy of my latest book, The 7 Secrets to Becoming a Wealthy Contractor. Just pay shipping and handling, and I'll take care of the cost of the book. And finally, a big thanks to G4 Marketing for sponsoring the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. For over 12 years now, G4 Marketing has been the secret back office relationship marketing team for hundreds of home improvement and home service businesses just like yours. You get the customer, and our proven system turns that customer into 5-star reviews and profitable repeat and referral business. If your home improvement or home services company completes at least 10 jobs per month, they have a solution that will work for you. To find out more, sign up for your free, no obligation, 10-minute discovery call at www.g4marketing.com/strategy. That's GFOUR marketing.com/strategy. Set your discovery call up today, and they'll help you set your business up for long-term profits and success. So until next time, this is Brian Cascavalcian.